Okay, guys, quickly. Let's try to run through a few questions, yeah? It's going to be quite fast. There are some things I expect us to be able to do quickly. So I won't waste time on quite a number of things. For example, there's no need for me to waste time on question 1.1, but let's see where the marks are. Please, you don't need a calculator to do that. You are simply just opening two brackets, all right, equals to 0. You have x there, you have x there, you have 4 there, and you have 3 there. I want a positive and a negative. X equals to -4. Or, please make sure you put that or statement. 1, 2, and your factors gets you the third mark. Please, we cannot make mistake on that. Correct to 2 decimal places. First, it has to be written in standard form. All right, that gives us 3x squared minus 2x minus 6 equals to 0. That's 1 mark. Please write the formula. Minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Please write that formula and show your substitution. There is the mark of substitution. Minus, please be careful. Our b is -2. Plus or minus square root of, please put it in bracket, minus 4. What is our a? 3. And these are routine. Do you want to tell me your answers here quickly? 2 multiplied by 3. Let's confirm. I want to make sure everyone is on board. Give me those answers as quickly as possible. Those answers as quickly as possible so that we all confirm we should have done this. All right, but if you have not done it, make sure you have a calculator now and we're working. Don't worry about what I cleaned. You just give me the answer. Someone, anybody. 1,79 or Google, it should be or, all right, not the word and. 1,79 or -1,12. Thank you so much. 1,79 or x equals to -1,12. So I'm trusting that answer. All right, no, it's okay. You're learning. Okay, so it's or. If you put and, you would actually be penalized. 1 mark there, 1 mark there, 1 mark there, and your 4th mark there. Let's run. 1.1.3. When it comes to surds, guys, there are 5 steps. Number 1, isolate the surd. Number 2, square both sides. Square both sides of the surd. Number 3, expand and simplify. All the time, that's what you do. Expand and simplify. Number 4, solve. And number 5, test for validity. Are your 5 steps every time. So, isolate the surd. This surd has already been isolated. What do I mean by isolate? It must be on one side of the equation. All right, that has been done for us already. What do? We square both sides. Ta-ta. When you square, what happens? The square root goes. You are left with 2. This is routine, guys. Every learner must know how to do this. Minus 2x plus 1. Expand and simplify. Now, what do? We bring all the x's. You know what I will do? I'll take it to that side. Minus 2x plus 1 minus 1. 0 equals to x squared. Oh, beautiful. Okay, now let's rewrite it nicely. What's common? X is common. X minus 4 equals to 0. So it's either x equals to 0 or x equals to 4. That is step number 4. What do? I test now. All right. I already see that 0 is not going to work for me. How do I know? Just grab a calculator and put a 0 there. All right. Not where you have the squared, please. You put it in the original. Let's see. Please also, I know you've done this, so just be confirming my answer as well, because I'm running. If I put 0 there, it's going to be the square root of 2 times 0, 0 plus 1. On the left-hand side, I'm having 1. But on the right-hand side, it's going to be 0 minus 1, which gives me negative 1. They're not equal. Let's check. If I then put a 4, 2 times 4, 8, plus 1, 9. The square root of 9, we know that is what? 3. All right. And then 4 minus 1, 3. That one is correct. For testing, you get that mark there. Please, very important. Factorizing, for expanding and making it equal to that. All right. So the test your answer always whenever you see inequality. All right. Number 4, x squared minus 3 greater than 2x. Please, very simple. Make sure the right-hand side is a 0. All right. So if you see any other question, please, we can add. What do we do here? We factorize, guys. We factorize. X, I have 3, I have 1. 1 minus 3 would give me negative 2. Now, please, don't do any funny thing. Once you see in a number line is your key, critical value. I'll tell you a few things here. What are your critical values? Each bracket should then be equal to what? 0. The smaller number should be on the left-hand side. So I have x equal minus 1 because x plus 1 equals to 0. And x minus 3 equals to 0 would give me 3. Please take note. Make sure your bracket starts with x's. I'll try to move around where the bracket would not start with the x. All right. Once it starts with x, it is plus, minus, plus. And what are we dealing with? We are dealing with things that are side and that side also. That and looking at that. What's my answer? X is less than negative 1. Or x is greater than 3. We are done, guys. As simple as that. Nothing hectic. Enjoy doing math, please. Enjoy doing math. Okay, let me quickly change the question a little bit. What if I have, just to make sure I cover anything the examiner might want to bring your way. What if I have something like this? 1 minus x, x minus 3, less than 0. Let me say greater than 0. I want to do something. Right. I said make sure that your bracket starts with an x. Do you notice on the left-hand side we have a problem? The problem is my bracket starts with a 1. We are going to quickly apply the principle. Change. So I'm going to multiply by negative x minus 1. You see, I'm only changing that bracket. This one remains. But because I have changed and multiplied by negative, my inequality. Right, my critical values 1 and 3. Because I have started this bracket now with x and x, it is plus, minus, plus. And less than 0 means I am looking at the negative. And negative lies between 1 and 3. This is the only time I am going to combine my inequality. Check, look at my between. There we go. Guys, when we get to grade 12, we don't want to repeat this. This is practically the same story that you're going to have. All right. Just add one more to this. 2 to the power x, x minus 3 is less than 0. Just want to do a few complex cases for you. All right. I have one more after this. Now, please take note. 2 to the power x will always be greater than 0. Here's the condition. Here's the math rule. A to the power x will always be greater than 0 as long as a is greater than 0. That's the condition. If a that is the base, is greater than 0. Then a to the power, you can try any number on your calculator. So look at what this examiner is trying to tell us. The examiner wants us to get a negative answer by saying less than 0. But already I am saying this one is greater than 0, so that's positive. It therefore means that x minus 3 can only be less than 0. So that a positive multiplied by a negative would give us a negative. I hope that makes sense. So what do you have? X is less than 3. Look at how this will be marked. 1 mark for that statement of truth. The examiner is checking. Do you know that if I have a base, exponent notwithstanding, my answer will be greater than 0? Then that and that. One more. X squared minus 8x plus 16 is greater than 0. So what's so unique about this one? Open 2 brackets quickly. Greater than 0. Let's factorize. X minus 4. Ooh. My inequality has only one critical value. Once that happens, please take note. It is a positive here and it is a positive here. Because basically, look, this is what we're saying. We're saying positive, negative, positive, right? But we are now we're closing the gap. You see, I'm closing the gap. I'm closing the gap until it overlaps. Oh, so the negative is now hidden. Positive and positive. And since I want this to be greater than 0, check that. Right? My inequality then says from 4 going to the left and from 4 going to the right. Oh, so it's basically x is less than 4 or x is greater than 4. And this can be written as x is an element of real numbers, but x cannot be equal to 4. Any number as long as it is not 4. Please kindly talk to me. I know I'm moving at a very fast pace, but please talk to me if you're okay with all of these inequalities that I just did on this, especially on the screen. These are basic things that you should expect from an examiner. All right. Very, very basic, and I'm trying to tweak it here and there to prepare you guys. Remember, whenever, let me do one more, just to sound last warning. All right. For example, if I have negative x squared, okay, let me use that same one we had. Negative x squared less than 2x. What am I going to do? First, I'll do that. I don't want a negative there, so I'll multiply everything. And once I multiply, your inequality sign should change. Then we are back at the question. You do your normal expansion. All right, so x minus 3, values are now there. Negative 3, 1, positive, negative. X is less than negative 3, or x is greater than 1. Take note. Oh, did I? Yeah, I'm correct. So take note, I brought the 2x first, then multiplied everything by negative to make sure that I have a positive exponent there. All right, guys, we are done with that. Okay, I'm going to move on quickly. Whole lot to do. All right, look at this one. I know what scares you guys is the fraction, nothing else. But my dear learners, if you have been following my algebra style, I've taught you how to do fractions. Diagonal, diagonal, denominator. I start from here. 1 times y would give us y. Plus there. 1 times x would give us x. So it is the first diagonal this way, then the second diagonal that way, then the over xy equals to 1. We can cross multiply. Check. Simple maths. X is now equal to xy minus y. That is done there. What do? I throw it in. X plus 2 equals to 2y. What is my x? Oh, by the way, no. Something is wrong. I cannot have x on both ends. So let's cannot have x and y on both ends. I must either have x or I must have y. So I'm looking for x. Let's redo this. At x minus xy equals to negative, right? What's common? X. 1 minus y. All right? You cannot have x on both sides. Minus 1 minus y. Right. So what is my x? I can now get rid of this x. Negative y over 1 minus y plus 2. Very easy. Get rid of the denominator. By everything by, let me show you. 8. We multiply everything. All right? 2y, 1 minus y. I have left negative y plus 2y equals to 2y. Rush. Take your time. Once you start rushing, things are going to... By 2y squared, it becomes positive. Y minus 2y minus y plus 2. All right, what do we have? 2y squared minus 5y plus 2. I hope you know how to factorize, guys. What I do, I'll do this. I'll just divide. I'm going to multiply that and that. Y squared minus 5y. Factorize quickly. Y there, y there. But I multiplied by 2, so I am going to now divide by 2. Y minus 2. Must just know how to walk through, guys. Y minus 2 into brackets y minus 1. Y equals to 2 or y equals to half. Then I can get my x value. I already know what my x is. My x is minus y over 1 minus y. So it's minus 1 minus 2 is negative 1. So negative 2 divided by negative 1. Other value would be negative half over 1 minus half. 1 minus half would give me half. Half divided by half would give me 1, but it's negative. Talk to me, guys. Let me know if you are okay. Let me know if things are still all right. Questions? Algebra. Let me know if there's a question, please. Are you able to do this? Were you able to do this? You type your answer in for me. M plus N. Give me your M plus N. Or if you did not, if you were not able, like Google has just written no, please just type no for me. I want to see. All right. I see so many no's. TK, quickly take your screenshot. I see so many no's. Okay, let's quickly walk through. TK, you should be fine now. Let's walk through. I see so many no's, no's, no's. Let's see. Now, what I will have done here is to split it. 2m plus 1. Let me write the whole question out. Please, when you see this, you always split. So it's 2m times 2 to the power 1 using the laws of exponent but reversing it. Power m. This is 3 to the power n times 3 to the power 2. All right. Now, what is common? 2 to the power m is common here. What am I going to have? My m looks skewed. Left to 2 plus 1. I hope that makes sense. 3 to the power n is common. What am I left with? 3 squared, 9, minus 1, because 3 to the power n is common. So what do I have? 2 to the power m multiplied by 3, right, equals to 3 to the power n multiplied by what? 8. You can do so many maths method here. I'll show you about 2 that you can apply. Here's the first one. 2 to the power m multiplied by 3 can be written as 2 to the power 3 multiplied by 3 to the power n. I just broke down my 8. Now, if you compare your left side and your right hand side, this is where you guys need to understand how powerful this thing is. Many of us just think it's a sign. No, it is telling you that whatever is on the left is exactly what's on the right. Now, if you compare, just by comparing, you would see we only have base of 2 and base of 3, base of 2 and... But on the base of 2, what do you see? M, therefore, must be, excuse me, equal to 3 because of that equal sign in between. And n must be equal to 1 because we are comparing. Therefore, m plus n, I'll show you another method in case, but you need to be comfortable with that, the power of the equal sign. Let me show you another method. All right, 3 to the power 1 equals to 2 to the power 3. I am going to bring all the variables to one side. So let us divide by 3 to the power n. No, Zara, this is just things that we should know. We're comparing coefficients, Zara. Let us divide by 3 to the power n. 2 to the power m over 3 to the power n equals to, I am bringing everything that has variables on one side. Then what do I have? 2 to the power 3. I'm dividing by 3. Check. Now, since the power m over 3 to the power n equals to 2 to the power 3 over 3 to the power 1, I can equate. Remember, when the bases are the same, what should I do? Equate the exponent. M equals to 3, n equals to 1, m plus n, 3 plus 1. So it's a matter of manipulation and understanding algebra. Sarah, where are you lost? If you're lost, you let me know where you're lost. Guys, let me know quickly. When you see anything to the power of exponent with letters, all you need to do is to break it down. 2 to the power m plus 1, it means 2 to the power m times 2 to the power 1. Then we check this is routine. This is common. All right. Zachary, are you okay now? Awesome. All right. Oh, then we have this one here. Right, number patterns quickly. Given the arithmetic, this one is so 7 plus 12, determine the value of T19. Okay, 11, we're not doing series, so our difference. First, minus 7, and that see it beyond Tn equals to a plus n minus 1d. Now, so check, it is 7, it is 12, it is 17. Mind you, this is a. Our d. D is 5. N, a minus d. What is 7 minus 5? 7 minus 5. The reason I'm showing you this is to let you see the position of examiner can give you this and say what is d. Good there. But we want T91. Oh, so T91, 91. Oh, that give us 5 plus 2 would give us 4. I hope you got that. Calculate the value of n. I know that now my 5n plus 2, which is my n, therefore, will be 515 because I moved 1 0. Multiple difference. Get to functions. That's where there's a lot of marks. Multiple difference. What I mean by multiple difference, this is what tk minus m will be k minus m. Example T15, if I give you the, I also give you the 7th term. Eight differences between them. Eight differences between them. Yeah, I just made that mistake there. 515. 15 divided by 5 is 3. All right. And don't forget that your T, if I say T15, for example, it is A plus 14D. 15 minus 1. You wrote the formula A plus N minus 1. T7. What is T7? A plus 60. Guys, these are things that should be flowing out of you normal as like your good morning. All right. All these formulas should flow out of you. That's your normal good morning if you have been practicing. All right. Let's see this one. The following information is given about the quadratic number pattern. T1 is 3, T2 minus T1 is 9. T3. Okay, look, I think the best thing would be to create a simple ladder. All right? It's to create a simple ladder here. T1, we do not know T2, we do not know T3, we do not know T4. Okay, like that. But the examiner told us that T2 minus T1 is 9. That's our 9. T3 minus T2, that we know is 21. Okay, so I have simply transcribed that information into a simple ladder. Show that T5 is 111. Okay, progressively, what you need to see is the difference quickly. Let's see what the difference is. What's our difference? Our difference is 21 minus 9 would give us, what, 12. And we know that that difference should be common. It's a common difference. Okay. And also see that it is an arithmetic pattern. So I'm just going to be walking down the ladder. What is 9 plus 12? 21. My difference is common. 21 plus 12 would be what? 33. There we go. All right. I have another 12. Right? 33 plus 12 would be what? 45. Awesome. Now we can walk down the ladder for T2, T3, and T4 because you are just adding. Let me use a 1. 3 plus 9 would give me 12. 12 plus 21 would give me what? 33. We're adding. 33 plus 33 would give me what? 66. And 66 plus 45. 6 plus 5, 1. That will give me 10. 111. So please check the order. We just adding as we move from left to right. We just keep going that way. Right? We keep going that way. And also remember that this one here, your first difference is arithmetic, while your second difference is constant. Let me know if this is okay with everybody. Please, I need response from everyone. So from left to right, you just keep adding across. Keep adding, keep adding, keep adding. That's the system. Right. Now, show that the general term, we all should know A, no, 2A rather. 2A should be equal to that second difference. 1, 3A plus B should be equal. Once you understand the dynamics, all right, 9 minus 18, and that will give us negative 9. All right? I hope we're okay there. Negative 9. Then, what do we know? A plus B plus C will be equal to what? 6 minus 9 plus C. Add to the other side, C is 6. Therefore, Tn is z minus, this is show that the pattern is, okay, this might challenge you a little bit. Show that the pattern is increasing for all values of n. Show that the pattern will what? Increasing all values of n when n what number. All right, there are a few ways of getting this. First is to understand that your quadratic is a parabola. Tn. Right? Um, how do we show that the let's check first what it means when they say it's increasing. What's your T1? I want us to we have T1, right? T1 is 3. Keep what? Increasing. Now, um, if we're in grade 12, I would say find the gradient. If we're not in grade 12, I would say let's complete. When you see such questions in grade 11, then to complete the square, then you interpret from completing the square. Check this. Check what I'm going to do. To complete the square, make sure that n is positive. N can be written as what? 6. Not my 6. What would I have left? N squared minus 9 over 6n. Taking out what is common. Somebody is now confused with the 9 over 6. Because 6 is not a factor of 9, I am allowed to write it as 9. Yeah, here, where are you lost? Question. Where are you lost? Quickly give me the question number. Okay. All right. If I ask you to factorize 2n squared minus 4n plus 8, what will you do? You take out 2 as a common factor, right? Good. What are you going to have? Right? Where these numbers are coming from? It's the same thing as saying 2n. Eight divided by 2 would give me 1. Because this one is not a factor, that's why. Guys, sorry, 1 second. Okay, guys, are you with me so far? So that's why I have it as what? 9 over 6, because it's not giving me a whole number. Now, this is what I'm going to tell you. Don't worry about the 6 that is outside. Let's just leave it. Let us now I don't know if you guys remember how to complete the square here. To complete the square, I'll open my bracket. And then this constant 1, I'll write it outside. Okay. Please, I'm taking this one slowly because I need you to learn how to complete the square. Quickly open that bracket. Now, I'm going to have n here. Now, this is my b. I'll be saying b over what? Over 2. What is 9 over 6 divided by 2? That will give 9 over 12. 9 over 6 divided by 2 will give you 9 over 12. I'm taking you back to functions. This is how we do functions. Now, but what's the next step? I am going to square and subtract. And subtract. What is 9 over 12 squared? 9 times 9 is 81. 12 times 12 is... Now I'll continue. Just leave the 6 outside there. Let's deal with the bracket. N minus 9 over 12 squared. What is 1 minus 81 over 144? 144 minus 81 should give us what? 37. 7 over? Never. Seven over 16. Okay, it's simplifying it. Seven over 16. Okay. Minus 7. No, but it's positive. Or what? 16. Now we are going to multiply our 6 back. So Tn is 6. N minus 9 over 12. 7 over 16 multiplied by 6. I want to show you. 7 over 16 multiplied by 6 will give you 42 over 6. That is 21 over 8. Right. Before I continue, please let me know if you are okay with completing. I have to. It's compulsory in grade. Its functions already. Huh? Talk to me. Oh, it's still fine. I just simplified. Yeah, it's okay. 3 over 4. Let's simplify that. I want us to test this quickly. Guys, I want us to test this. Please put 5. Use your calculator. Put 5 where you have n and tell me your answer. 5 where you have your n and tell me your answer. Quickly. Remember the rules. N squared must have a positive 1 as a coefficient. Then I open my bracket, put a square there, divide. So that I'm writing the instruction for you. B over 2. Then that 1 goes out there as my constant. Square and subtract 81 over 1. 1, 1, 1. You put 5 there, right? Do you remember what T5 was? T5 is what? Must know how to complete the square. Which tells me that, please listen, what does this mean? I have Tn as 6 into bracket n. I'll show you some love. Plus 21 over 8. This actually is my turning point. Now the sign and the value. Those are my turning points. And mind you, A in this question is actually greater than what? Greater than what? 0. Watch this. It means your graph, ooh, I hope you guys can see it. A should be greater than, when A is greater than 0, you have a smiley face. My A is 6. Greater than what? 0. What does this 3 over 4 mean? 3 over 4 is actually 0, watch this. This is 0, 7. Get this. If I were to do this for you, I want you to see that an examiner can throw a number patterns question to you as what? Function. Where this is now what? N. And this is what? We are now saying that the minimum here at 3 over what? 4. 3 over 4 is somewhere there. Graph is at a minimum here. It actually comes graph actually comes and start what? Increasing. This is how the number patterns look like. But remember, n must be what? An element of what? It shows us that from 1 we have 3. Is increasing all through. The minimum n is an element of what? Value will continually what? But before I move to that part, how did I get 21 over 8? Expand the bracket. 6 multiplied by that and 6 multiplied by this. Bracket is gone. Bracket is gone. Are you okay there, TK? We just expand. Guys, don't worry. I'll leave this note for you. I want. Right. So you would see that for all values of n, I'll still stay on this question. All right. 6n minus 3 over squared will be positive. All right. Because, okay, let me do it. All values of n minus 3 over 4 squared will be positive because that's a square, right? That's number 1. Now, multiplying by 6 will increase the number. Whatever number you get, first, because we said it's squared, it will be a positive. Multiply by 6, what happens to the number? It increases. Now, adding 21 over 8 will keep increasing the value of Tn. This is using functions to explain. This, like I said, I'm going to do about 2 different methods. Talk to me about completing the square, and if you understood what I did on the right hand side, please quickly talk to me. I need you to talk to me. I have to stay a bit on. TK, did you get my 21 over 8 now? Two? Because this, guys, this is now just more than you just answering a question. Yes, we're going to just answer questions in the exam, but at this stage, we must learn how to apply. So we said anything squared will be positive. That you must know. Anytime you square a number, even if it's a negative number, if it is squared, it will be positive. That's the first thing. Now, a positive number multiplied by 6, that number is already positive because we are multiplying by what? By 6. Are you with me there? Okay. Now you are adding to that number again. What's happening to that number? It's going to be increasing because you are adding. Each time you are adding 21 over 8, 21 over 8, 21 over 8. This is one way of answering the question. Okay? The second way of answering the question is this. Second way of answering the question is this. Right, is to now bring back the graph. Okay, check this. No. Bring back the graph. Check this. Since A is greater than 0, have a minimum. Question is, what is the minimum? N equals to minus B over what? 2A. Minus, what's our B? Negative 9 over 2. What's our A? 6. Check. Put that in the calculator. Tell me what your answer is. 4. How 4 we got here? Now, if I put 3 over 4, you would see, I want you to see something. I want you to enjoy maths. Please put 3 over 4 here. I want you to see what I did earlier on. Please give me an answer. 3 over 4 there and give me an answer. So please, you need to rewatch this video, especially those of you that are still writing maybe later during the week. You need to watch this again. Pause and rewind. Make sure you get it. 21 over, check my 21 over 8 on that side. You, guys, I cannot overemphasize that you must know it already gives you your turning points. Right. So since A is greater than 0, we are going, yes. First, not just finding a turning point, since it's quadratic, therefore it's going to turn, but you need to interpret the values and interpret what you have done. All right? So here, listen, that this number is turning at 0.75. But n has to be what? An integer. Makes sense? Cannot have n as 0.75. It means our next, so the minimum number occurs at 0.75. Minimum. It means after 0.75, all the numbers are what? Increasing. Because smallest is at 0.75. I'm using two interpretations there. First, the value of A. A is greater than 0. The value will have a minimum. But where is the minimum? 0.75, which is before our pattern even starts. So the numbers are already on the increase before we get to term 1. I don't know if it makes sense, guys. The numbers are on the increase before we get to term 1, because the smallest is 0.75. All number patterns must be an element of what? These are two ways of doing this. Get to grade 12, there'll be a third way, because I could simply calculate, tell you that this is an increase. This, I needed to pause here a little bit and show you that an exact graph your way. And I hope that graph makes sense. Tn on the y, n on the x. If A is greater than 0, we are going to have a minimum. If A is less than 0, we are going to have a sad phase, which is a maximum. Numbers will get to a point. N starts what? Decreasing. Guys, let me know if we are okay and we can move on from here. I have to know if we can move on from here. Beautiful interpret, guys. This is not just you solving, this is applying now. I got a response from Google. Paul Seatley, talk to how to interpret answer and interpret. A bit hazy, please rewind. Oh yeah, we come to functions. Sketch below is a graph of f of x equals to 2 x minus 4. This is an exponential. Right, for x, check the domain. Keep an eye on this stuff. At this thing here. What does that? Stops there. It's not from negative infinity to positive infinity. That thing stops there. It means it's called a restriction. Graph cannot go beyond what? Dot, not an arrow. That arrow means, oh, check this one as well. It stops there, but this one is not included. That value, this is grade 10, not included. And this one is included. It stops there. Write down the equation of the asymptote. Exponential function has only one asymptote, which is a horizontal what? Y is equal to what? Q. Y equals to negative 4 that you see there. That negative 4, this point. Your graph cannot go below that point. Determine the coordinate of B. What do you know? X-intercept. What do we know about the x-intercept? How do we solve x-intercept? Somebody, how do we solve x-intercept? It's something you like your name when it comes to functions. X-intercept. Come on, somebody quickly. Come, but x-intercept. It must be your name, something you must know. Thank you, Google. Y is equal to 0. X-intercept, Y is equal to 0. Y-intercept, X is equal to 0. And you must underline, let me explain to you today why Y equals to 0. This is the x-axis, the equation of this line. Y equals to 0. This is the y-axis, the equation of this line is x equals to 0. That's why any point on that line would be a 0. Okay, so point B. Y should be equal to what? 0. Y equals to 2 to the power x minus 4. 0. Check. Mess is now easy. Can we move the 4? 4 equals to 2 to the power x. Let's change it. X, algebra. Same base. What is x there for? So we are done. The coordinates of B, 2 and 0. Boom. Game. Point 3. Determine the equation of K, a straight line passing through A and B. Examine line. Check here. A straight line passing through and B. Let me make it thinner. What is the equation of this line? A and B. We want the equation of that line. How do we get the equation of a line? I equals to mx. But you cannot get that without getting. Already, I know my B. Can I ask everyone to quickly get me A? Get me the coordinate of A, everybody, in case you didn't have coordinate of A. Everybody, what do you see about A? I need the coordinate of A. Has 0 and -4. Has 0 and -3. Secretly right. TK. Guys, please use your calculators. Those of you giving me -4. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. Please, not 0. Saying y is equal to 2 to the power. We're saying a to the power of 0 is 0. What is the coordinate of a? X is 0. That mistake in an exam, it's too costly. By the way, if you say it is 0, that should be where it should pass through that point. Now, can we get the equation of the line K? We now know our A and we know our B. We are looking for the equation of that line. So we know our A as what? We said what? What is B, by the way? How do we get the equation of a line? Guys, you cannot go through maths without knowing the equation of a line. It's disastrous. It's you committing math suicide. Find the gradient. YB minus YA over XB minus XA. What is the Y value of B? 2. What is the Y value of A? -3. Sorry. What is the Y value of B rather? 0 minus -3. What is the X value of B? 2 minus 0. What's your answer? 3 over 2. Makes sense. Now, what do we know? Y equals to what? X plus C. There's no need. Y what? Intercept. Y equals to what? 3. What is your Y intercept? Tell me you're okay. If you are not sure in the exam, check. This is what somebody who's not taking note. The Y value. Let's use coordinate of Y value there. 0. What is M? 3 over 2. Right? Plus what? C. 0. Necessary. It's waste of time. If you remember that C is the Y what? Intercept. And we know Y intercept already. Y 4.3 is that. Calculate the vertical distance. A simple function here, please. A simple vertical distance. Top minus bottom. Right? Top function, top y value minus bottom y value. But horizontal, we're not talking about right and left. Vertical top, right x value right x value for horizontal, right minus left. Vertical, top minus bottom. Take note of that small important note. Now the examiner wants us to calculate the vertical distance K and F. I now know my K. X equals to 1. F or K at X. My X equals to 1 is somewhere there. X equals to 1. X equals to 1. That is F. 1 is on top. K. What is my vertical distance saying? Top function minus bottom function. Vertical distance, therefore, will be what? K minus what? F. There are two ways of doing that. Okay? K of X minus F of X. What is our K of X? Do you still remember the equation? Over 2x minus 3. That's our K. 3x minus, that's our K, right? Minus, what is our F? Please use a bracket. 2 to the power x minus 4. Examiner gave you the value of what? What do you do? Substitute. Come, let's do it together. 3 over 2, 1 minus 3 minus 2 to the power 1 minus 4. Calculators, please, everybody. I know you guys might not have gotten this right, but now you know. A calculator. 3 over 2 minus 3 would give us minus 3 minus half. Half. We agree? Please confirm. Confirm. Right. Guys, immediately you substitute. Check something here. Once I start substituting my x, this automatically means y. Once I bring in the value of x, I'm already getting what? All of this is y and y. K of x, w of x, b of I. Write down the equation of g if it is given that g of x equal to f of x plus 4. F of x. X minus 4. See, I'm just plus what? Our What have we done? This simply means g of x is f of x shifted up by 4 units in case the examiner wants you to describe. Why am I saying up? Up plus half plus going up minus coming down. This is my question 4. Please give me response. I want you to type now, not just a thumbs up, because I want to see. Okay, if you're okay, just type okay. No thumb. Type okay for me. If I don't see an okay, then I know something is still wrong. I'm only getting okay from okay. I didn't get an okay from you. Okay from you. I'm not sure I did. Response means a lot to me. Okay. Check what they're giving us now. Look at f of x. That's what they've done. What is it that I can pick from here? F of x equals to what? Negative. I can pick a few things from here. First thing I can pick, a is negative. A is what? Less than 0. It's a sad face. We're going to have what? First information. First information I'm getting from there, a is negative half. When a is less than 0, it's a sad face. Is that okay? And if it's a sad face, it's a maximum. Number 2, I can get my turning point, which is the maximum point. What are my turning points? 1 and the y value. Please take note that the sign has changed. The bracket, it was negative 1. When I write out my turning point, I'm going to write out look at the graph. Look at your turning point. A lot of sense. Right hand side of your graph. Oh, we are actually done with 5.1. Check. Write down the coordinate of the turning point. We are done. By just mere interpreting. Coordinate of C. Look at C. Write point C for me. Y what? Intercept. What do you know at the y-intercept? X should be equal to what? So, can we solve that quickly? Very fast. Y would be equal to negative half. Answer there. 1 times negative half is negative 8 minus half. Examiner says coordinate, so please write it as a coordinate. What is C? X is 0. 5.3. Of X is actually, what do you notice? It's right? And they said a point of intersection of F and G is B. Lies on both graphs. What is the coordinate of B? It's the turning point. 1 and what? 8. Graph is too simple for me. Y equals to D X. What is my Y value at point B? Y value. At point B. Eight. And what's the X value? Value of D. Where's your graph? D is already 8, 2 marks. Oh, 1 mark there. They know that there's nothing there. We just substituting. But guys, if I see D over 8, let's talk a bit. Let's talk a bit quickly before I go to the next question. If I see Y equals to 8 over X, can we write down the equation of the asymptotes? I want to stay on this a bit and just extend, guys. Vertical asymptote, your denominator X should be equal to what? Asymptote Y. You see, this is plus 0 there, and that's my. I want to digress just a little. That's what, so I'm digressing just a little by looking at this. Now, guys, if I have this equation, 5 over X minus 2 plus 3. Everybody, please write down the equation of the asymptote for me. Okay, I want us to do, let me write my questions. Number 1, please get me the equation of the asymptote. Start working quickly. What is my calculator for? Why what? Number 2, I want you to find the intercept. Number 3, I want you to write the axis of symmetry. I'm going to give you 3 questions here. Axis of symmetry. Yep. To what? Try. Try if we have time. Right? Axis of symmetry, but I want you to be specific. A. and b, that is a decreasing function. As you have 4 minutes to get all of this. 4 minutes is 4 minutes. Get your best shot, guys. These are basic things. All right, Sitley got 4. All right, we all should be done. If we don't get this right, it means that our knowledge of functions is not okay at all. Equation of the asymptote. Number one, my vertical asymptote x should be equal to what? 2. Because we simply say x minus 2 equals to what? 0. X equal, when we say asymptote, the denominator should be equal to what? 0. So x minus 2 equals to 0. Therefore, x should be equal to 2. And what is the horizontal asymptote? Y should be equal to what? 3. It's 1 mark there for everybody. One mark for everybody. Number 2, intercept. Y-intercept, x should be equal to what? 0. Please show your 0 substitution. 5 over 2 plus 3 would give us what? 11 over 2, I think. Am I correct with my 5 over 2 plus 3? That's 11 over 2. 11 over 2 there. X-intercept, y should be equal to what? 0. 0 equals to 5 over x plus 2. Sorry, x minus 2 plus 3. If I move this there, negative 3 equals to 5 over x minus 2. And then 1 over 2. 5 over 2 plus, 5 over negative 5 over 2. Negative 1 over 2. Negative. I forgot that negative at the bottom. All right, here, please, when you get to this point, just interchange the numbers. X minus 2 goes there. 5 over, but it's negative 3. And then you simply simplify this. We simplify as quickly as possible. X equals to minus 5 over 3 plus 2. And what's your answer? 1 over 3. X-intercept, Y-intercept. Number 3, axis of symmetry. Look, here is your axis of symmetry. 5 over x minus 2 plus 3. This is your axis of symmetry, guys. This. For those of you that were here when I was doing functions, we did this. So number 1, A, with an increasing. When they say increasing function, it simply means that your m is equal to 1, positive 1. I'm just going to write that thing that is in the box, just like that. And then simplify. 3 minus 2, we are done. That's my equation. B, decreasing function. When it is decreasing, it means my gradient is negative, and it is negative 1. Look at what I'm going to do. Whatever is at the bottom, the denominator, I am going to now multiply it by what? By negative. Check the difference. I'm just dealing with what I have in the yellow. With the positive gradient, we just write it. Y equals to, highlighter, we just write it. Y equals to x minus 2 plus 3. Done. You see? But if it's a negative gradient, all right, I'll put a negative there. And now I'll simplify. So take note, this one means a positive gradient. Examiner can use that. Any of the languages, positive gradient. So take note of the different languages. Positive gradient. And here, negative what? Gradient. Let's simplify. Negative x plus 2 plus 3. Remember, this is not part of the question. I'm just diverting quickly. And the last thing I want us to see from here, very interesting. We're going to quickly sketch this graph as well. Go back into our question, but I couldn't just leave this without attention. Now, I want you to look at those two equations of axis of symmetry. Y equals to x plus 1. All right, so I have my axis of symmetry. Check this beautiful stuff. Y equals to x plus 1, and y equals to what? Negative x minus 5. Watch this. Can you solve this simultaneously for me, everybody, please? Solve simultaneously. Let me see your answers. Solve simultaneously. Solve simultaneously. Tell me your answer. I want you to do a lot of algebra, guys. Solve simultaneously. Tell me your answer for x and y. Such an important session. Solve simultaneously and give me the value of x and y. Share your answers once you're done. The longer you wait, the longer I wait for you to get that done, are going to get done. Right, I see your answers now. You guys are getting what? 2 and what? 2 and? Is it 2? 3. 2 and 3, right? X equals to 2. Check. I wanted to see what you have done. I'm going to go back now. Keep this answer at the back of your mind. X equals to 2. Y equals to 3. Look at the board and find it. Do you notice? Have you found it? What are those values? So, do you notice if I have my axis of symmetry and I solve simultaneously, what am I getting? I'm getting the equation of what? The asymptotes. That's another way an examiner would ask you for asymptotes. The axis of symmetry and ask you for the asymptotes. Please take note of all the additions that I'm adding to this question. I want us to sketch. To sketch this graph, I'm going to start by drawing. Please don't start marking what you don't need. I only need 2 there, and I need y equals to 3. That's all I need. Asymptote is represented with a dotted what? Line. And that, check. There's 1 mark for doing that already. 1 mark. Can we mark off our intercept? X equals to what? 1 over 3. 1 over 3 is somewhere there. 1 over 3. 8. And number 2, what is my y value? Y asymptote, intercept. Y equals to 1 over 2. 1 over 2 is... My graph is passing through that point, and it must be a bowler. Guys, it must not touch the asymptote. Please don't draw anything straight here. Check. I have that, but I must complete the graph. Other section. There we go. Get a mark for intercept, you get a mark for asymptote, you get a mark for the shape. What about the axis of symmetry? Where is my axis? Please look at this. I'm going to use yellow to draw the axis. The axis of symmetry is actually passing through. That way it passes through. It passes through that point. Aha. That is why we were solving simultaneously there. Second axis of symmetry will also pass through this point. Perfect. We're just showing. Take note. This is the axis of symmetry when m is greater than 0. Increasing function. Axis of symmetry when m is less than what? 0. Please check that point. That's a very, very important point. This point is what we're doing here. Let me use it. This point is what we're looking for there. Solving simultaneously. Because when graphs intersect, we solve simultaneously. Point of intersection is solved simultaneously. Point of intersection is solved what? Simultaneously. Write this note down for me quickly. Axis of symmetry passes through point of intersection. Axis of symmetry passes through the point of the asymptotes. That is why we solve what? Simultaneously. Point of intersection is solved using simultaneous. Point of intersection is solved using simultaneous what? Equation. Please, are we okay with this concept? Because I'm moving from here. Are we okay with it? Functions is a big chunk of your papers. That grade 11 or grade 12. All right. I want us to go deal with the rest of the question. All right, write down the range of G. Okay, we need to, let me bring this here. Going to a lot from there, because there's no way I'm going to survive teaching you functions without mentioning those things that we've mentioned. A lot more, all right? But reflection, shifting the graph. Let me see. Sitley also sent a question. In fact, I'll look at that question, Sitley, now. Okay, guys, let's now continue. The range of G, it's what? A hyperbola. Is that okay? It's a hyperbola. hyperbola. The range of the hyperbola is always y is an element of real numbers. I should not be equal. In this case, y is an element of real numbers and our asymptote is 0. Remember what the equation is. Y equals to what? 8 over x. Vertical asymptote, x equals to 0. Vertical asymptote, y equals to what? 0. Domain. X is an element of real numbers, but x should not be equal to the what? Asymptote. In this case, x is an element of real numbers, but x should not be equal to what? Once you get your asymptote right, it helps you to deal with your domain. Okay. For which values of x is f of x multiplied by g of x less than? Let's start by interpreting. First, understand that we are referring to the y value. We are also referring to the y values. Less than 0 means, let's start from there, it must be negative. Get a negative answer. What do we need? Or if this one is negative, this one must be. So let's go to our graph. Go to our graph now, and since we are dealing with y values, look at what I like to do. What is my y value here? Negative, 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 negative. Y value here is 0, positive. When we say y value, it is above the x what? Axis. Y value here is what? 0, negative, negative. 1 for this one. This one, it's all below. Can you see all negative? This one, it's all what? Positive. What are we looking for? We said we are looking for where they are of. I did this on the. Said we are looking for where they are of opposite what? Signs. When one is positive, the other one is negative. One is negative, the other one should be positive. Take a ruler. I'm looking for. I'm looking for. Now, immediately after 0, what do you notice? Can you see the pink one is positive and the blue one is what? That's what I need. And that ends right here. So it is point and that point. Let's check again. So we already know this point between those 2 points. Let's keep moving. Ta, ta, ta. What are we touching? Positive, positive, positive. Until we get to what? 5. Now after 5, do you notice it's now blue positive, pink what? Negative. We need that point as well, right? So these are the points that we need. Please let me know if you are okay with this, that point, all right? And we need the -3 and 0. And remember how we write between. Start from the smaller number, -3 and 0. It is -3 less than x less than 0. And what? X greater than 5. But check, the examiner also says must be equal to what? So we go and check where we have our zeros. Do you notice my zeros are only 2 of them? At -3 and 5. So I go back to my solution. At -3 and at 5. We are done. X is an element of real numbers. Please talk to me. Let me know if we are okay, guys. Let me know if we are okay. So this is a matter of application. All right. There are some heavy questions down the road there. 5.67. Again, interpretation. 5.6 and 5. When are you writing? Oh, those of you that are writing tomorrow, please, you need to watch this tonight. Get back and listen to everything I said about the concept. All right. Calculate the values of k. Please, I want you to listen to this part. So that h of x minus 2x plus k will not intersect. The first thing I need us to see is what type of line is the examiner referring to when they say minus 2k. When the examiner says minus 2k, they are actually referring to a straight line with a negative gradient. I'm going to try to sketch that line for you. Minus 2x plus k. We are looking at something that looks like that. Is that okay? But they said should not what? Intersect. Hold on. It means it should not touch. Touch which graph? G. That's the first point of contact. The tangent first or the last point of intersection. Write something about tangent. Section with a graph. Number 2, at the point of intersection, the roots are equal. What does that mean? This b squared minus 4. This is a big part of maths, guys. At the point of intersection, the roots are equal. Discriminant there is equal. It means they have the same value of x and they have the same value of y. All right. Graph and tangent have same x and y values at the point of intersection. A very important point that you must know. A learner going to grade 12 must have this information about tangent. All right. Once you're done writing, we can work. Somebody saying, why are you drawing 2 lines? This graph is 2 parts. So I need to find both. I need to find those. Those 2 are tangents that we need to deal with. Parallel to each other because they have the same gradient. This equation here is y equals to negative 2x plus k. This one is also y equals the difference between the two of them is the value of what? K. K is the y what? Intercept. That's k there. And this here. Not at point C. So please be careful. Just that it looks at point what? C. How do I then get my K? That's the challenge. What do we know at this point? These points are known as the point of what? Intersection. What do we do at the point of intersection? We equate. And when we equate, discriminant must be equal. So let's equate. Do we have our g of x? Yes. We have our h of x? Yes. Let's solve together. So I would say h of x must be equal to what? G of x. Negative 2x plus k equals to what? 8 over x. We go back to question 1, algebra. Cross multiply. Negative 2x squared plus kx equals to 8. X squared plus kx minus 8 equals to what? 0. Discriminant must be equal to 0, which is what? Solving, guys. Because we don't even know k. So let's find it. What is our b? Our b is k. K squared minus 4. What is our c? Negative 8 equals to what? 0. 8 times 8, negative 64. Beautiful. What is this? K minus 8. Difference of squares there. So k is equal to negative 8, or k is equal to what? Or Elena, who knows the maths principles, will say k squared. But when you introduce the square root, you must put plus or minus. It makes sense though. You notice we had two graphs. It makes sense to have two values of what? K. Negative 8 and positive 8. Oh, check. That means that value there is positive what? 8. And this value is what? Negative 8. But we are not done. At this point, they are intersecting. If I don't want them to touch the graph, what should I do? I should move this. I don't want this line to touch this graph. I'm saying when k is equal to 8, it's going to touch. Check if k is greater than 8. Is it touching? Touching. There and there. Intersect means touch. So for it not to touch, I shouldn't be going up. Anywhere I go, do you see it's still touching? If I don't want it to touch, what should I do? Move down. But when I move down, what's happening to my intersect? It's also decreasing. Y intercept there. It's also what? Decreasing. It's decreasing. So the maximum is 8. It decreases until I get what? Negative 8. That's where it touches again. My answer should be k must be between negative 8 and positive what? 8. Negative 8 less than k less than 8. Those. Anytime k lies between negative 8 and 8, my graph. Look, I want you to see the movement that I did. K is 8 here, it's touching. When I go down, k is no longer negative 8, negative 7, negative 6, 5, 4, sorry, it's 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Is it touching? No. Negative 1, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative what? 8. It starts touching again. But I don't want them to what? To touch. So it must be between 8 and negative 8. That's how we deal with functions, guys. Tangent. That's a lot of work. I'll have to go find. Okay, I'll try to check. I'll have to go find. She said she sent questions like this. Ooh, I'll have to go search, 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 and search. All right. But please just understand the interpretation. Okay. Now let's look at 5.7 quickly. H is a tangent to G. Ooh, they're not ending. H is a tangent to G at R. There's no R. But they said H is a tangent to G at R. This point, that's what the examiner is referring to. That's my H. It's a tangent to R. There. A point in the first quadrant. Oh, so they are referring to this one. Okay. Calculate T such that y equals to fx plus t. Look, it's the reading. That's the problem that I see here. If you understand this, guys, first question that I need us to do you think you can get that point? It is a point, value of k at that point. It's 8. Right. So for us to have the tangent, I know this looks a bit complex, but you have to learn it. This is maths. Tangent. H of x is equal to what? G of x. Negative 2x plus 8. That's where the tangent occurred. Is equal to what? 8 over x. Let's solve. Negative 2x squared. Okay, I'm just redoing this, but do we really need it? Yeah. Plus 8x minus 8 equals to what? 0. By everything. Can divide everything by 2. 4x plus 4. Notice if you don't know how to factorize, maths is going to be a problem. X equals to what? 2. Makes sense. The x value at that point is 2. That is 5. It makes a lot of sense. That's not what we are looking for. I need to draw this on a new page. It's going to look messy. Even after grade 11, before you get to grade 12, your holiday, work on functions. Work on functions. Because you're not going to get everything right now in grade 11. Find the missing part. Now it says, H is a tangent to G at R. Already we know what R is, our x value. Point in the first quadrant. Calculate T such that y equals to fx. Now they bring in f of x. Woo, plus t intersect. Where is my, I'll use a blue one. This, guys, check this. This is my what? Of x. Plus t must intersect G. When will this R? Look, check what I'm going to do. For it to touch at R, this graph needs to come down. I know that some of you, I'm just going above your head right now, but you need to go and down about how many units? Check. This is what. That is what I need to calculate. Basically, I'm talking about vertical distance again. Function is on top. Vertical distance. Which function is on top? X minus what? G of x. What is f of x? X. Yes, we do. Ooh, long ago. What was my f? Traveled. Please write down that f of x for me. We are looking for the vertical distance there. This is such a beautiful one. Such a beautiful one. Oh yeah, Sitley. One just came to my head right now. Good. I know where to find one. Have you written f of x? All right. Please write it down. We are moving that small distance there. It is negative 1 over 2 x minus 1, right? Squared plus what? 8 minus, what is g of x? 8 over x. But do we know the value of x now? Yes. What is the value of x? 2. Please substitute there and we are done. That's our t. T is the vertical distance. Our x is what? 2. Squared plus 8 minus 8 over 2. Can answer? That is the distance it must move, and it's moving down. All right? Before I conclude that this is t, let's say vertical distance. Can answer there. That is 1. 1 times that. That is what? 7 over 2. All right. 7 over 2. By the way, we are moving 7 over 2 units where? Remember we moved down. 7 over 2 units where? Down. Therefore, t must be what? Negative. 2. Whew. Yeah, this is high order. But it's something you must have an idea of. Okay. Shifting the graph. Yes.
So do you think we're going to get it?
Darling, it's maths. You will not get this question, but the concept is something you can get. The concept of shift. Just read the question and understand. Point of intersection, we equate. They said H is a tangent. I've taught you now how to deal with tangents. Look, this note is very important. Where's that note again? That note there is very important. Tangent is either the first or the last point of intersection with a graph. Number 2, at the point of intersection, which is where we have the tangent, right? At the point, remember we said tangent is point of what? Intersection. At that point, the roots are equal. How do you deal with that? Discriminant must be equal to what? To 0. The graph and the tangent have the same x and y what? Values. It's high order, and these are things we must expect in maths. Everything has been simple so far, but there must be high order questions there. So with a tangent, I know I'm going to equate, then I use my discriminant. Right. I know it's quite hectic, but it is what it is. It is maths. Okay, before I go to financial maths quickly, Sidley, let me just quickly bring in your question because it's functions, guys. All right. This is the question. 7 marks. Let's walk through. Okay. The graph below shows the sketch below shows the graph of f of x and g of x. You see, f of x is a straight line. G of x is a parabola. C is any point on f and d at a point. Okay, C. Now check. Such that CD is parallel. It's a straight line. What are we talking about? Vertical what? Distance. Y-axis. K is the value such that C lies, blah, blah, blah. Write down a simplified expression for CD in terms of K. How do we get vertical distance again? CD, right? CDs are vertical. Echoing the question I just did, right? Top function minus the bottom. Which function is on top? F. Which function is at the bottom? G. What's your f of x? 2x plus 3 minus, please open the bracket. What do you have? Negative 2x squared plus 14x plus k. Can we simplify that? 2x plus 3. If you multiply the negative, what do you have? X squared minus 14x minus k. Can check 2x squared. Is that fine? What is 2x minus 14x? Minus 12x. And then plus 3 minus k. We are done. They said in terms of x and k. If the minimum length of CD is 5, they are now giving you 5. Calculate k. CD is 5. So 5 equals to what? Okay, minimum. Let me do something here. The examiner says minimum, right? It means what we can do is to find, let me quickly write something here. Minimum and maximum. What do we do? Guys, do you notice 2x squared minus, that's a quadratic expression. Minimum and maximum, x will be equal to what? Minus 2a. Let's find the value of x. What is our b? Negative 2. What is our a? 2. What is the value of x? 12 over 4. 3. X equals to 3. Now I know CD, the minimum length. 5 equals to 2. 3 squared minus 12. 3 plus 3 minus k. Check, the only missing value is k. Please, everybody get me k. So, this is grade 11 now. Do you see that we're using almost the same concept of vertical distance and horizontal what? Distance. That this question just came from you, which is, guys, please get me k quickly there. Type your answers in. 16 plus 19 minus 36 would give me minus 17 there. Everything over. The k over there and move that there, yeah? Negative. Right. Value of k. K is negative what? 20. We are done there. So minimum, and do you remember minimum maximum from number patterns? Number patterns. We spoke about minimum and maximum. Minus b over 2a. I told you that quadratic pattern is a quadratic function. Examiner says minimum. And how do I know it's a quadratic function? You must be observant of your equation. That is ax squared plus bx plus what? C. K is negative 20. Lovely question. Let's move, guys, quickly. That's functions. Patrick deposited money, an amount of 18,000 rand into an account earning R interest percent per annum compounded monthly. After 6 months, his balance was 19,000. So it deposited 18,500. All right. And at the end of the period, it became 19. What happened? It has grown. Calculate the value of R. All right. And they told you it's compounded what? 1.1. A equals to P 1 plus I to the power of what? N. Right? What is our A? The amount in the future. 19 what? 319,48. How much is the principal amount? 18,500. We don't know R. Okay, but compounded what? Monthly. Okay, remember if it's compounded monthly, it becomes I over what? 12. Got that, right? And for 6 months, divided by 12, this becomes 6 automatically. How do we do the maths? Start by dividing both sides by what? 18,000 what? 5. Watch the algebra here with finance can be messy. I over 12. I'll do it step by step. Don't press calculators yet. Next thing is to get rid of that exponent. Let's learn the steps before we run to the calculator. How do I get rid of that exponent at power of 6? I have to look for the 6th root. 19319, 48, 500. And that is equal to 1 plus I over 12. My 1 there. Okay, you can get me an answer for that one. I'm not going to write anymore there. Everybody, calculator. The 6th root of 19319,48 divided by 18,500. We get an answer there. Then what do? I bring the 1 over. All right. If I bring the 1 over, it becomes what? Minus 1. That is equal to I over 12. What do? Multiply by what? By 12. Mathematical principles. 0,0870000. R equals to 0,0. Then multiply by what? By 100. 8,7%. 6.1.2. Calculate the effective interest. And guys, they will not give you the formula page. So why don't you multiply the 6 by 12? I was waiting for that question. Good. Thank you for asking. It's 6 months, not 6 years. Once I divide by 12, already when I divide by 12, it's now months. Thank you for asking that beautiful question. Therefore, this one must also be in months. Okay, lovely. I was hoping someone would ask. All right. Calculate the effective. I hope you guys know the formula. Effective interest rate. I effective. 1 plus I nominal over N to the power of N. You must know that formula. No one is going to give you. Got 8, what, 7. Am I right? 7%. Right. Compounded monthly is over 12. It's 1 year. Effective interest is always 1 year. Please put that in a calculator as quickly as you can. What are we getting? 0,090,554, but you must multiply by what? Please, at least you must write up to 5 decimal places or 6. By 100, 9,012, 9,05, which is 9,06. Understand, effective interest earned once a year and once a year. Nominal interest earned more than once a year. That's the once a year. So when you see things like compounded more than once a year, compounded monthly, quarterly, blah, 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 they are referring to that formula would not be given to you. Right, quickly. Kuda bought a laptop for 10,000 Rand on 31st of January 2019. He will replace it with a new one in 5 years. The value of the laptop depreciates annually, going down, but now it's in minus, at a rate of 20% per annum, according to what? A straight line. Please take note. Straight line method. Straight line. Examiner says straight line. If it's an A equals to P, 1 plus I, N. A equals to P, 1 minus I, N. All right. Growth, if it's exponential growth, exponential. Investment would grow. A equals 1 plus I, and this is compound. K, value, balance, A equals to P, 1 I, or we use the languages. All of this refers to one form. Interest, compound interest. Straight line is known as simple. And one of the things you should also expect is interest that is changing. A simple formula for changing interest. Interest that is changing. But that's after I answer this question. Let's run quickly. Interest that is changing. Something that we need to also learn. Okay. Let's quickly answer this question. So what is our A? Oh, after how many years we're looking for N, will the laptop have what? A value of 0. From how much? From 10,000. That says simple interest. A is equal to P 1 plus I N. In the future, plus, do we know interest? What was the straight line method? So it's 20 divided by what? N. All we need to do is to solve for divide everything by 10,000. 0 minus 20%. That is 0,2. So 1 over 0,2. All right, take note of this. Changing interest A equals to P, all you need to do is just keep multiplying. Interest, second interest, if it's changing, third interest. Let me third interest. This one is the duration of each interest. A quick example. Check. I'll use a number line to quickly do. I'm going to compress this example, so just learn the principle. Somebody invested 2,000 Rand here. After 3 years, invested 750 Rand into the same account. And in the fourth year, this person withdrew 1,005. You see, I'm putting a minus because I'm saying withdrawal. The interest for the first 2 years, let's say it was 7% compounded quarterly, means we divide by what? And for the remaining 3 years, interest is 8% compounded monthly. Please listen to the language carefully. We deposited 2,000. After 3 years, we deposited what? 750. In the fourth year, we withdrew what? How do we calculate how much we have? I'm going to deal with 2,000 first, before 750. All the formula I'm using is simply A equals to what? P, 1 plus I. Please listen to this part. You would finish the calculation. One plus, what's our interest? 7% over what? 4. For how long was that 7%? Times 4. The interest then change. 3 years. I am working only on 2,000 Rand, guys. What is the new interest? 1 plus 8%. 12. For how long? The line. 3 years. Divided by what? 12. Plus. Go to the third year. We deposited what? 750. 1 plus. Now, this how many years? 2 years. Under which interest? 8% over 12. For 2 years, right? 2 times 12. That's making sense. Now, what did we do in the fourth year? Minus. Minus. How much did you withdraw? 1,005. But that money should have grown. We must put the interest. 1 plus. Under which interest does it fall? 8%. For how long should that 1,005 has grown? 1 year. Compounded. That in a calculator and you get your balance. I know you do that when you get home. We have about 9 minutes left. Guys, I hope this is making sense to you. How we work things out. You keep multiplying the new interest and keep checking for how. Well, minus. If it's a plus. Okay. Okay, guys, we'll look at this for paper 2. Let's quickly look at probability. Look, guys, when it comes to probability, before we even start, let's do something. Okay, this we don't need. This mutually exclusive event. Mutually exclusive. Probability of A and B. X. It's like you and your ex. You've got nothing to do. Right? Independent events. Independent events. What is the formula? Probability of A times the probability of B. Now, what is probability of A or B? A plus the probability minus the probability of A. Mutually exclusive or independent. Take note. And probability of A plus probability of not A is always equal. Probability of A plus not A would be. All right. A and B are independent. That they've given us. Determine probability of A and B. Follow the are independent events of A and B is simply plus no times probability of what? B. That is the rule of the probability of A. 1/3. Probability of at least one event. It means A or B. At least one event occurs. A is occurring or B is occurring. Minus probability of A and B. What is the probability of minus? What's the probability of A and B? Guys, so this is the main thing I needed to know. Once you know this, you are able to deal with any probability. Right up to grade 12. All right, let's look at this. We still have your questions. The probability that it will snow in Drakensberg Mountain in June is 5%. Look, once the examiner says that it will snow, it's okay. So it snows, and I see that it snows or it does not snow. 5% here, and the rest 95 what percent. When it snows, the mountain, when it snows on the mountain, the probability that the minimum temperature in Africa would drop below 0. Drop below. Okay, so it's let's use below and above. Snow and above. Oh, and what? You can use any letter to. When it snows, we are dealing with snowing now. Probability that it will be below is what? What will this one be? What is 100? If it does not snow, we are under 95%. The probability that the minimum temperature in that will drop below zero, below, is 35. So this is 35%. What will this be? Guys, once you do this, please, you must write out your outcome. It is snowing. They are called outcomes. There's one mark for that thing. Called outcomes. Examiner says, present the given information in a tree diagram. Clearly indicate the probabilities, which is what we have done. Now, calculate the probability that in South Africa, blah, 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 it will not drop below. What are we using? It means it must be probability of not below or probability of above. There are two of them there. Not below. We say in probability it must be what? Above. What would that be? This AA at the end. So it's probably that it will snow and it will be above, or probably that it will not snow. %, which is 5 over times. What is the probability of being above? 28. We just follow that line. 20 over 100 plus not snowing, 95 over 100, above 65. Please, you put this in your calculator and you get an answer. You do that. That's how we draw our tree diagram, guys. Just Sitley sent me this one. Sitley, the hypotenuse of a right angle triangle. If I were you, I'll just draw a quick right. Hypotenuse is 25. The length of one side is x. The perimeter of this triangle is 60. Is 60. X plus 25, let's call this y. Y is equal to 60. So y, 60 minus y going to be? What? Calculate the length of the two shorter sides. Right angle triangle, what do we use? Algebra. The longest side, 25, x 5 minus x squared. Five times 35? 5. And 5 times x multiplied by 2, negative x minus what? X squared. X is equal to 1. X. 1225 minus 625, then we divide by what? 70. Do you see there? 5 minus 625. Then I can get my other side. The other side, which is y, will be 35 minus 60 over 6. We are done there with the 5 marks. One 85. I promise you to check if you are correct. Let's do something. Plus, what's that other side? 7 plus 25. We must get 60. Boom. Okay, here's this last one here. ACDF is a rectangle with an area of x squared minus x minus 8. The rectangle ACDF, oh, the whole thing. Point on AC and E is a such that ABEF is a square with the side x minus 2. Calculate the length of what? ED. Okay. It's very fast. This is a square. It gives us the area of the rectangle. Area of what? Rectangle ACDF, the whole area of square ABEF plus area of what? Rectangle BC. By the way, this is also what? We are given the area of the rectangle. How do we get this? Right? Can we get the area of the square? X minus, okay, so let's try to quickly do the algebra. X squared plus 2x minus 8. X minus 8. Let's see if we are going to have the rectangle. X minus 8 is going to be our problem. We are looking for the length of what? ED. What's the area of BCDE? It's y times x minus 2. Basically, what are we looking for? Let's be smart. I want to I have factors. I just want to check something quickly. X minus 2, x plus 4. But what's common here? Right? What do I have left? I want you to divide both sides by x minus 2. X plus 4 equals to x minus 2 plus y. Everything here. X minus x plus 4 plus 2. Enjoy algebra. You can expand if you want to expand, but on this, quite interesting and quite nice. Right? Plus 2x minus 8. Let's expand. Right? Minus 4x plus 4, but don't x squared minus x squared will give me a 0 there, right? That cancels. X plus 4x minus 8 minus 4. Everything over and simplifying. X squared minus x squared, 2x minus 8. If I bring this 4 over, what do we have here? 6x minus what? 12 equals to y into bracket x minus 2. Divide both sides by x minus 2. Yes. All right, guys. This is where I hang my. Um, this is where I hang. Okay. But just before you go, please, let me just section and transform. Along x. Just going to write the notes that you should know. Along x, what do? We keep the x value. Y. Reflecting y, what do? Keep the y value and change what? Reflecting along a line. Reflecting along a line or point. Let me use that. Guide you on something. Line or point comes the midpoint of the image and its reflection. Reflect -4 along the line x equals to 3. Guys, we have a point here. Just quickly watch. Reflecting along the line x is equal to what? What do? I'm going to say this is x. One good way. x1 plus x2 along the x. You see, I'm reflecting along the x. My y would remain what? The same. This line. Now, y is going to be the same what? Value. Because I only have, do you see I only have x? I don't have y. X midpoint, 3. What is x1? -4. -4 plus x. The reflection is the midpoint. That is too important, guys. -4, 6. Divided by 2, 3. And transformation, right? And I'll release you. The left. Add. Shift it to the right. Up. Plus. Good luck, everybody. This is where I am stopped. Hope I've been able to reinforce your knowledge, especially of how important what we've done today is. Guys, are you okay? I'm done. Okay. Tried some places, but I tried as much as possible to look at what a Estina. Now your hand is raised. Guys, please respond. Are we okay? Tina, your hand is raised. Saying nothing. I'm not hearing anything. The mistake. Google, you're okay. Oh, all right. Okay. Now I should go back to the mutually exclusive. Guys, if there's no question and you're okay, just give me a thumbs up and you gonna save let me save this as PDF and send it to you so that you can use it. All right, guys. In the absence of no other question, I will be saying good night and good luck with math.